corner. Smart play there. Worked in front, they score! Their last two games have had a shot. That number 2 seed, Minnesota. Looks like they're really in the driver's seat. Hold on, there's a shot that goes in!
Ho ho! Right when they were in the driver's seat, Michigan says, no, we're in the driver's seat.
Go back into his own zone. That'll be an offside. Oh, there's a shot wide. Shot! Score! A wide. His second goal of the game.
Full strength for the Toronto Rock. Nope, throw it back outside. Everybody's got to clean up again. And another far goal by Rhoda. Comes out of the box and gets a goal.
Nice rebound by Wilson. Just couldn't get it on the crossbar at all.
Looking for a long shot, and he scores!
Wow!
Lifted up by Chad Wilson. He gives Minnesota a 1-0 lead here in the 2016 North American Championship.
Yep.
From Plymouth, Michigan, it's the 2018 PowerHockey Cup Championship. The Michigan Mustangs, the hosts of the tournament, taking on the #1 overall seed Philadelphia Flyers PowerPlay, who have looked absolutely unstoppable through their first round games and into the playoffs. Hi everybody, alongside Mike York and Brett Johnson, I'm Patrick Lilia. Happy to have you with us. It's been an interesting week leading up to this time. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll come back and discuss these teams and the game ahead. Hi everybody, welcome back into the broadcast booth here at the USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth, Michigan, just outside of Detroit. Now Brett and Mike, gonna bring you guys in now. We finally reached Championship Friday. Philadelphia against Michigan. Michigan got off to a very hot start in pool play, but they struggled a little bit in the back half of pool play as Kevin Confara, who had such a huge first day on Tuesday, struggled mightily, shifted his focus to defense, and Michigan righted the ship yesterday. They're going to need a lot of defensive help if they're going to slow down the big Philadelphia 3.
Yeah, it's going to take quite an effort from the Michigan Mustangs. I mean, both these teams are in the championship, but I'd venture to say that Philadelphia is probably coming into this game as pretty heavy favorites. They won by the rather lopsided margin over Michigan, but championship is much different once you get to the playoff round. And we saw Michigan make a real commitment to defense yesterday in their semifinal upset win over Toronto, really shutting down a good offense, and they're going to have to do the same thing today. I think the key is they got to have a commitment to defense for all 45 minutes of the game. Yesterday in Philadelphia's semifinal win over Minnesota, the Saints made a good 15-minute first period defensive effort, but Philadelphia eventually broke through. So it's going to take Michigan having 45 minutes of commitment to defense to have any sort of chance at winning this game.
Definitely 45 minutes of committed defense. That starts with Dina Levis, the captain, and then also starts with Kevin Confara. You know, he's out there for scoring, but right now I think he's going to have to limit to Saxton or even Pitts if he's on either one of them at any single time.
Happy to let you know that tonight's championship game brought to you by Quantum. Check out their line of Edge 3 power chairs today at quantumrehab.com. Again, the Edge 3 power chair line from Quantum at quantumrehab.com. Now we're going to get things started here momentarily. Confara, he's going to start out as the defender, playing back in that defensive position. The usual suspects up front for Philadelphia: Saxton, Pitts, Miller, Hoban the defense, and Anthony D'Amico, who has been absolutely fantastic in goal. As Saxton is going to be flipped in, and Oliva's able to make the save on the shot by Pitts.
Boy, this is an interesting strategy to have Confara back on defense. It's going to really put the pressure on Martin, Thur, among others, and Tristan Parent to get the offense.
Katie Frere shifts back. She started up as a forward and then shifted back after the game started.
Boy, look at Michigan. They got all three guys lined up along that line. This is going to be a defensive strategy. Didn't bring in any forecheckers when it was dumped into the zone.
Saxton will flip this one up toward Pitts. Pitts, he scores! Alex Pitts sort of bent it around Olivas, and Philadelphia 1-0, 51 seconds into the game.
If you're Michigan, they scored a little too early what you would like there. You guys start committing to defense here. Just a little breakdown there. Let's see what Michigan do to come back here. They need a quick score of their own.
Yeah, they're able to beat Olivas on that long side to take a 1-0 lead. Not the start that the Michigan Mustangs wanted in this championship game.
And even after that, the face-off immediately pushed down into the Michigan zone, and Miller was whacking at it out front. It's loose up on the far side boards. Here's Parent with speed. He's got Confara 2-on-1. Here's a shot by Parent, blocked by Hoban. Pushed up into the corner. Hoban will retreat. Got Confara with him. Miller pursuing for Philadelphia as this one wobbles in well wide of the net. We played off the end wall. Saxton on the far side will bring it toward his net. Now he'll bring it up court. Reversing direction. Now he'll play it around his net. Miller patiently waiting at the white line. Here he comes in with Pitts, and it's poked away. Miller back to get it in his own zone. Now Philadelphia, another quick start. There was only one game where they failed to score more than 10 goals, which was the game against Toronto that they won 7-4. Confara flips this one over the net and out of play.
That came a lot closer to going in than it originally looked like. About a foot shorter, that would have bounced in the net.
Two interesting history facts about these teams. Both these teams have lost in the championship before. Philadelphia losing the last two tournaments, and I believe
Parent shoots it wide and out of play.
And I believe Michigan losing the previous two tournaments before that.
Yeah, or in other words, Michigan lost in 2010 and 2012 to Minnesota. Philadelphia lost to Minnesota in 14 and 16. And of course, now with Philly and Michigan meeting in this game, we will have a new Power Hockey Cup champion.
As Pitts comes out of the scrum with the ball, he'll carry it around his net. Miller, good job by Martin to take it away. Loose along the near side boards. Saxton into the offensive zone. Saxton,
Good
Josh
recovery.
Cuter moves to cut him off. Cuter will be a major player in tonight's game as it pops over the net. It's loose out front and then pushed wide by Pitts.
How in the world did he create that score chance? My goodness.
As Confara flips it out of the zone. 2-on-1 for Michigan if they play it right. Martin whacking at it, and it'll be pushed the other way by Pitts.
I think eventually Michigan's going to have to bring Thur in the game. He's got a really active stick, and I think he could really get the offense jump-started.
Pitts working his way through the middle. Pitts in. Pitts shoots. Blocked by Cuter.
Michigan, I think, Mike, right now you'd agree they're making it too easy for Philly to enter the zone. They really got to clog up the neutral zone area.
Definitely, they got to clog it up, make them work, make them think, make them try to play the Michigan-style Mustangs type of
Yeah, right
play.
now I think Philly's having way too easy of a time getting into the zone. Really not much resistance. Michigan's got to do a better job cutting them off at that center line.
Face-off coming in the Michigan zone off the frozen ball.
I do like the offensive strategy, though. Kind of throwing alley-oops to Tristan Parrington, trying to see what he can do.
Saxton with it. He'll reverse direction, waiting for Pitts to set that screen. Now he shoots. Miller can't redirect it in.
Those Philly players just come out of nowhere open for their passes. Very tough to guard them. Miller kind of came and streaking it out of nowhere, and no one picked him up.
Flip back toward Pitts. Confar able to poke it ahead for Martin. Martin will have to chase it down. Pitts will whack it away from him. Alex Pitts, even with all the scoring he's done, we haven't really talked about him as much as we have his teammate Jake Saxton. But Pitts arguably has done just as much damage on the score sheet as Saxton. Last night in that win over Minnesota that got them to the title game, he had 7 of the 8 goals. Saxton able to come away with it.
Like you said, we're really seeing Michigan's strategy. They're trying to spring Clay Martin. They've had success a couple of times. They're going to need to do that more.
Pitts not able to get much on that shot. It heads up into the corner. Parent into the offensive zone. It's rolled down to the near side, with well out of the reach of Martin. Saxton. Saxton will carry it into the offensive zone. What a burst he has. He left it behind him for Pitts, but that burst that he had to get ahead in the offensive zone. As here's a turnover. Saxton getting it up toward Miller, but it's blocked.
Good read by Michigan. They saw Miller wide open on the weak side, and I think one of the defenders picked that up and knew they immediately had to block that pass. I still think, Mike, Michigan's got to do a better job. Philly's still having too easy of a time of getting into their zone. I think Michigan's getting caught chasing the Philly puck carrier a little bit more than trying to cut off their angles.
Definitely, they got to cut off their angles and be a little bit more aggressive. This is a championship game now.
I agree, yeah. They're kind of playing off a little bit, not wanting them to get behind them, which is understandable, but you got to make life difficult. If you allow Philly to have an easy zone entry, they can beat you in so many ways.
I know they're all friends off the court here, but it's time to be competitive. Bump them a little bit. They've let a lot of things go here.
Yeah, in the first period, that Philly-Minnesota game, Minnesota was really getting up in Saxton and Pitts' grill, and it had success.
As Confara can't get a hold of it, we're now under 9 minutes to play here in the first period, just passing the 6-minute, 15-second mark. Parent on his way into the offensive zone. Parent, he shoots, it's loose underneath D'Amico, who holds on.
Now, on the other hand, talking about zone entries, Philly's going to have to do a better job not letting Parent spring free. We've seen that a couple of times in this game, and eventually you think Parent's going to burn him for a goal. Philly's really got to watch him on that back door.
Confara will take the face-off against Pitts. Here's Saxton. Saxton with a shot and saved Olivas. Pitts couldn't quite catch up to the rebound. There is a lot of energy in this place, a lot of Philly fans, a lot of Michigan fans. Philly certainly very strong support of their team. not just here, but also on Facebook. Thanking all the Philly fans tuning in. That one's saved by Olivas.
I think that went in.
No, they didn't. There was a very muted reaction by Philadelphia, but they scored. It's 2-0.
Let's watch it at replay. That was just, I think, Saxton, yeah, he deflected it off Dean Olivas. Let's watch it one more time. You'll see it deflect off of the arm of Dean Olivas into the back of the net. That's a smart play by Jake Saxton, reading and knowing he really had no other options to try to deflect it off the goaltender. It worked that time, and Philly's up 2-0.
Pitts right back into the offensive zone as a shot blocked. Loose out front. Miller poking at it. Confara trying to get out of there with it. He will. There's a long shot. That goes wide and out of play. Maybe trying to get a little more of that offensive mindset for Kevin Confara, who had that huge first day, but he's largely been held off the score sheet since then. He's put up a few goals, but almost all of them are with the game already decided.
And Michigan's going to move him up to forward now. They have Cuter on defense. Cuter, I should say. So, risky strategy, but you're already behind 2-0. You got to start scoring some goals if you're the Mustangs.
They go with Martin over Thurer here now.
Well, back to the original starting lineup for Michigan, minus Freyer, who has been replaced by Cuter on defense. Here's Saxton at the line. He'll worm his way in. Pitts will take a shot, saved by Olivas. Rebound loose out front. Confara trying to get some speed, but Pitts does a great job to whack it away from him. Parent, he can't clear. We're gonna have a Paul played with a high stick.
Yeah, they were trying to outlet, but was knocked down by Saxton with a high stick. I don't think with playing with a high stick, this face-off should actually be in the Philadelphia zone. Yeah, that's.
And the officials basically saying, not our problem, and that one sent down into the Philadelphia zone off the face-off. But kind of interesting there.
Unless the rules are different in power hockey, I think if you have a high stick play, it's going to be a face-off in your defensive zone, but we can play on.
And certainly, I guess as the ref, you're in the tough spot. You may go, oh, well, I think maybe this isn't right, but the fans are the ones trying to tell it to him, so he can't really give in to them either. He's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. So even though maybe he realized it was wrong, he just had to go with it. Here's Parent. Parent trying to go to the backhand, trying to center it. Still loose. Parent gets it back. Now he'll shoot and saved by D'Amico.
Nico coming up big with some saves to keep this 2-0.
Saxton, he'll set things up behind his own net.
Good head save by D'Amico. Read it well.
Pitts long shot, that'll go wide and out of play.
So I like what Michigan's doing offensively. They just had a few defensive lapses, including kind of an unlucky play where Jake Saxton banked the ball off of Dean Olivas to score a goal from behind the net. And Michigan still got a chance here. They at least have shown that they're offensively capable of coming back in this game. They can pop one in before the end of the period. They'll feel good about themselves.
Saxton near his own net as Anthony Thurer has now checked in. Saxton working up the near side. He'll get it to Pitts. Punches it up toward Miller, who couldn't handle it. It's underneath Cuter. That's behind the net. Trying to pop it over is Saxton. We'll get it up toward Confara. Pitts able to keep it away from him. About to go under 5 minutes to play in this first period. Philadelphia 2-0 lead here in the 2018 Power Hockey Cup championship game. Two teams who have been denied twice before in the last 4 Power Cup tournaments. Confara's long shot will bounce out of play. One of those will come away with the win tonight, as 4-time defending champion Minnesota not have a good showing at this year's edition.
Like Chris Lemieux said, 75 views. Let's get up to 100.
100 at one time, you got it.
Confara battling for it, tries to come out with it. Confara pokes it toward the net. It got caught on the wheels. That's loose! Oh, what a save, D'Amico. That was Thur who got a hold of it. Miller into the offensive zone.
Now D'Amico, this very easily could be a 2-2 game. He's had a couple of big saves.
Martin, he'll flip this one down into the corner. Pitts will catch up with it. Pitts. That's it up to Saxton. Saxton flips, and Olivas makes the save with his head, and it goes out of play.
Let's take a look at that last save by Anthony D'Amico. Mike, we've watched him play for a couple of years, and the way he's improved from 2014 and 16 to this year has just been amazing. He's really improved his play and has become an elite goaltender.
A very elite goaltender. Not much has gone by him at all. Doesn't buy for the fakes, stays his ground, very smart.
So off the face-off, Confara trying to, referee couldn't quite get out of the way of either the ball or a stick as she goes down momentarily.
Well, I just noticed too, we have a 3 official system for this championship game. Typically we've just had 2.
Saxton trying to get it up the near side. The reverse direction, doesn't like what he sees.
This is what we were talking about, kind of bottling him up before he can get
Yeah, I
in.
got to do that. Good job cutting off his angler. That's what Michigan needs to do to cut them off and make life difficult entering the zone.
It's loose underneath. Pitts trying to fight his way through. Ball pushed up into the far side corner in the Michigan zone. About to go under 3 minutes to play in the first period. 2-0 Philadelphia. Confara flips this one toward Martin. Martin into the offensive zone, but Hoban cuts him off. And flipped up toward Miller. Miller's cuter moves to cut him off. Jordan Mitch in the game for the first time for Michigan. As Martin able to clear. Saxton already all the way back to grab it. Saxton, flip it. Martin clears it back out. Mitch trying to catch up to it. Pitts gets there first. Pitts up the near side. Pitts into the offensive zone. Pitts with a shot save.
Wow.
Olivas. That shot sure had some mustard on it there. But Olivas able to safely bat it up onto the far side boards. Pitts maintaining possession. Here's a shot that'll go well wide of the net. Will remain in play up in the far side corner. It trickles out dangerously toward the Michigan net. There's Martin. Martin will flip it up ahead. Miller will get there first for Philadelphia with a little bit of help from, well, maybe not so much help.
An unfortunate bounce and nearly led to a score.
Mitch on the backhand, can't quite put it home. Zimich. Oh, and tried to fit that one through to Martin. Zimich had the wide open back door on the wraparound, but just couldn't quite get it there.
Zimich coming up big in all her games.
Yeah, big off the bench, and she took advantage of kind of a funny hop that was played by Liam Miller that led to a Michigan scoring chance.
Under a minute to play. And I have an offside call here with 50.6 remaining. First period, and Philadelphia got off to that quick 2-0 lead, but Michigan starting to tilt the floor a little bit back in that toward that
and
right side.
You've heard about Anthony D'Amico being a good goaltender. Let's take a look at that save from a few minutes ago by Dino Olivas, certainly one of the best as well, punching that away.
Saxton, oh, what a save by Olivas.
Wow.
Back-to-back saves, keeping on his toes there.
Confara able to clear it out.
Well, they're going to Confara's forechecking pretty aggressively. Be careful if you're Michigan not to let this ball get behind you in case they don't hold it in.
That's the aggression we kind of wanted to see a little bit more in the early parts of this first period.
5 seconds remaining in the period as Saxton comes out with it. He'll just let it run out. So we come to the end of the first period. Philadelphia 30 minutes away from the Power Hockey Cup Championship. They lead 2-0 as we go to the first intermission.
Make sure you share and tweet. Let's get up to 100. We are up at 80 right now.
Absolutely.
Remind you, our championship game tonight brought to you by Quantum. You can check out their line of Edge 3 power chairs at quantumrehab.com. That's the Edge 3 power chair. Get started today at quantumrehab.com. We're going to take a break and we'll come back. Mike's going to be heading downstairs. Brett's going to take over on play-by-play for the second period. You're watching coverage of the 2018 Power Hockey Cup live on Facebook.
And we welcome you back to USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth, Michigan, as we're ready to go with the start of the second period. Philadelphia PowerPlay taking on the Michigan Mustangs as they are on top. Philly on top of Michigan by a score of 2-0. Glad to have you with us on our broadcast this evening. Michigan got to find a way to get back into it. They've created some good scoring chances. They just have to find a way to get one past D'Amico, who's been a red-hot goalie for the Philadelphia PowerPlay. Mike York reporting down on the sidelines here during the second period. We'll let you know when we have an interview with him. But for now, let's get the second period underway. Big crowd at USA Hockey Arena. Of course, Michigan, the hometown team, they're going to get lots of crowd support, but plenty of Philadelphia fans also out here. They'll be controlled by Clay Martin off the opening faceoff. Martin working his way into the zone, takes a shot, and he's going to be whistled for offsides. Looking around for where Mike is. Patrick, do you see him at all? Seeing if he's
Yeah,
waving?
he's right down in front there.
Okay. Nothing yet, so we'll see if we're going to chat with maybe some players from other teams, chat with the fans, get you an inside perspective of what it's like here at a raucous USA Hockey Arena in Plymouth. Off the face-off, it's won by Philadelphia. Here's Alex Pitts, always dangerous with those shots from pretty much anywhere on the court. Jake Saxton trying to take it away. It's actually, oh, what a toe drag, but then he lost it with Kevin Confara, trying to pull a little deke there to create a scoring chance. Just underway in period number 2. Tristan Parent for Michigan. He was a spark plug for them to start off period number 1, creating some scoring chances. His long bouncing shot is stopped by Hoban, now picked up on the rebound by Confara. They're trying to spring him more offensively. He started off the game as a defenseman. Now they're trying to get really aggressive with him defensively now. Still digging for it. Confara battling it out with some of the Philadelphia defensemen. Jake Saxton also helping out over there. Still digging for it behind. And now Clay Martin comes away with possession. He's well covered. Trying to set a pick on the Mustangs. By the way, they're going with 4 forwards right now, so kind of a risky strategy if Philly gets anything in transition. As the Mustangs trying to ramp up the offensive pressure, bringing 4 attackers into the zone. Here's Philadelphia's Jake Saxton dribbling in his own zone. Looking for somewhere to go. He's pressured by Clay Martin. Able to get around Martin, and now he'll work his way up around the left wing boards. He's bothered by Kevin Confara. Confara and Saxton, 2 of the best players in North America. Lost it, taken away by Tristan Parent. He'll dump it into the zone. Saxton gets there first for the power play. Saxton dribbling behind his net. He'll be met by Tristan Parent. Pitts trying to set a pick for Saxton. Parent kind of gets all turned around. Saxton patiently weaving his way in his zone. Outlets to Liam Miller along the left side boards. Miller finds a little space. Miller into the zone, hits the side of the net. Miller gets back his own shot. Now centers it loose out in front, digging for it, and then cleared away to safety by the Michigan Mustangs. 12:30 to go in the second period. It's 2-0 Philly over Michigan. Comment on the feed says spread out Michigan offensively, and well, right now you see they're all bunched up in one area, all 4 attackers. Makes it easy to defend if you're Philadelphia, so I agree with the advice from our commentator. And now we're going to get a whistle. Mike York's got a report down on the sideline.
Mike York here with Chad Wilson. Since you are a veteran and you played in a championship game, what's their feelings like as players out there?
There's always nerves no matter what. You know, we've been in these 4 times and there's always nerves, but it's just working through it and trying to treat it like any other game. I mean, the first 5 minutes is huge. Once you get past that and you know you're playing well, playing within your system, I think it helps out for the rest of the game. Also, for Michigan, what can they do to get back in this championship game?
I like how they're being defensively responsible. I think they could be a little bit more aggressive. Maybe take defensively, just maybe be a little rougher in there. Don't give them space. It looks like they're giving a little too much space.
All right, back to you, Brett and Patrick.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. Always a good guy to talk to about power hockey strategy. One of the best, if not the best in North America. That's Chad Wilson of the Minnesota Saints, who we just heard from. Here's Philadelphia. They got some space. A wide open Jake Saxton, always dangerous in this situation, but a save made by Dean Olivas. Now it's Confara going the other way for Michigan. He scores! Kevin Confara gives Michigan back in this game as they score their first goal and make it a 2-1 hockey game. A much-needed goal for Confara, and they've got this big crowd right back into it. Let's take a look at Confara with that shot. Just a perfect shot to meet D'Amico, and Michigan's right back in this one. You heard the PA announcer say Tristan Parent will get the assist. Off the goal, Philly trying to put on some pressure. Flipped up ahead to Saxton, and Pitts almost able to tip it in. Digging for it now, Parent and Liam Miller. Here's Saxton trying to stick handle his way, and Confara able to defend him. Confara, Saxton will battle it out on the far side corner. Still digging for it. Quite a battle down there in the corner. Got to be defensively responsible if you're Michigan in case this comes free. We know how Philadelphia is dangerous in their passing game. Clay Martin can't spring himself free. There's a backhander. Now watch Saxton. Always a dangerous player behind the net. Throws it out in front. Saxton can't handle the bouncing pass. And a backhander goes just wide. Now popped up into the air and swatted out of the zone by Tristan Parent. Picked up by the Mustangs behind the net. Clay Martin will spin around. Actually make that Jake Saxton rather. The assistant captain for the Philadelphia PowerPlay. We're at 9:52 of the second period. 2-1 Philadelphia leads Michigan. Saxton, I think, fanned on his deke, and this is going to cause a turnover and maybe a chance for Michigan. Long shots from Confara, and it bounces wide and over the net. Mike York with another sideline report.
Mike York here with Joan Miller, super fan here for Philadelphia. How has Michigan treated you so far on your trip?
Very good, very nice, yes, yeah.
Definitely. So, what's it like for Liam Miller to play in this game, and what is it like for you to watch him play?
Oh, he just loves this game. It means everything to him, and I love watching him. He's my only grandson.
Thank you. I'm with Joan Miller. Back to you guys. Thank you, sir. Oh,
Thank you very much, Mike, and I'm sure she's got to be a very nervous person while watching out there. Although nothing's worse than being the parent of a goalie. We can find D'Amico's parents or guardians or relatives. I'm sure they're the most nervous people in the house, as are anyone related to Dean Olivas. It's probably the one position as a parent you never want your kid to play if you have anxiety issues. Clay Martin works with it on his backhand. Now spins around to his forehand. Dangerous there. Saxton almost picked his pocket. Deflected back in, still held in by the Mustangs. Trying to get a forecheck established. Here's Liam Miller behind the net. Miller will leave it for Pitts. Watch out, they're going to try. Swatted away by Kevin Confar. It's played with a high stick, but that broke up a possible breakaway. I think that's a good decision by him.
Yeah, we saw that play work. That Philadelphia hasn't gone to that bag of tricks much. Yesterday was their first day when they really just have Saxton sitting out near the white line, and he burned everybody over and over again.
I think we have learned that if you play the puck with a high stick, you don't necessarily get a face-off in your own zone. Lifted ahead and not quite getting there in time was Clay Martin. Michigan doing a good job establishing some pressure. Philadelphia hasn't been forced to defend very often with their starters on the floor, so this is a little bit different for them being pressured. Now Philadelphia is going to break out of the zone, and this is the problem when you put on all this pressure. You expose yourself to transition opportunities. Flipped up, and it hits the head. Now still loose, and they score! Hit in by the Philadelphia PowerPlay, and they're back in the front, 3-1.
So that was Pitts or Miller who got the final, just kind of sat out in front of Olivas, and eventually somebody was able to poke it by him.
Watch it one more time. It was initially mishit by Alex Pitts. Bounced off the head, I think, of Katie Fayer. Big rebound given up, and it's 3-1 Philadelphia. Mike York's got a sideline report.
Mike York here with Marty.
Scores right off the faceoff. Wow. Hold that sideline report. Michigan with a long goal, and what a response. And that gets the crowd right back into it. See what kind of angle we have. Look at Kevin Confara, another long shot. We get one more look at it right off the faceoff. Let's send things down to Mike York.
All right. Michigan only down by a goal. I'm with a retired athlete here from Michigan. How can they get back in this game?
They can keep Alex Pitts outside, and I think if they play good positioning, they can take them.
All right, thank you for Marty. He's a veteran here. He's been a great asset to the Michigan Mustangs throughout the year, and he's retired now watching his team play. Back to you guys.
Sure, another very nervous guy, being a retired former Mustang, seeing his teammates out on the ice, trying to capture Michigan's first title. Again, as we brought up, Michigan lost to Minnesota in the title game in 2010 and 2012. Philadelphia lost to Minnesota in 2014 and 2016. So both these teams looking for their first North American championship. And we're going to get a whistle on the play, and I think it's just going to be for an offsides. About halfway through this second period, and Patrick, it just seems like every time Philadelphia looks like they have the momentum, Michigan kind of creeps back into it. But hold that thought, Patrick. We got Mike York with another report.
Mike York here with Blaine Cameron. How do you think this game is going so far?
It's really exciting. Confara can score from almost anywhere. And then Philly with their organized play, like they just know where each other is. And it's just great hockey.
Super close right now, so who do you got to win this game?
Gosh, it's a real toss-up. I couldn't pick one. I'd lean maybe towards Philly.
A lean towards Philly, but not quite sure. All right, back to you up, Patrick and Brett.
All right, thanks, Mike. That is Blaine Cameron, a great veteran player for the Ottawa Capitals out here watching this game.
Philadelphia going on the power play. Anthony Thuer in the penalty box for Michigan.
This is going to be a big kill now for Michigan,
man.
and they score right on the power play. Philadelphia back on top by a score of 4-2 as they get their lead back out to 4. Let's take a look at that goal.
Didn't even get to finish the thought, and Saxton was popping it into the net.
I think we've learned that's key. Stay out of the penalty box if you're Michigan. When you lose a player to a penalty, it creates a lot of space for these Philly athletes, and if you give them any space, more than likely they're going to burn you.
Well, that didn't take long at all.
Yeah, absolutely. So 4-2, Philly back on top. Here's Jake Saxton for the power play. Confara has it for the Mustangs. Kevin Confara stick handling in his own zone. Here's Confara. Scored 2 long shots to get Michigan back in it. Tried another one. Saxton read it all the way and is able to block it out of play. Mike York, does he have another sideline report? I lost where he is. Do you have any vision of him? Kind of like a Where's Waldo here with all the people around.
Well, what the shirt he wore today makes him pretty hard to pick out.
Yeah.
Oh, I found him. He's over on the right side there. Doesn't look like he has anything for us right now.
They had to put him in one of those construction outfits, bright yellow or bright orange. Although I guess if he's orange, he'd blend in with the Philly fans. So that probably wouldn't be very helpful. Back to the action though, 6.5 minutes to go in the second period. Puck is caught up along the right side boards. Confara trying to dig it out, comes away to, momentarily came away to Pitts, but good recovery by Thuer. Dumped into the zone. Here's Tristan Parent, odd angle shot, hits the side, loose out in front. Confara trying to hit it in, hits the goal post in front. Now bouncing around, is it in? Still waiting, and now whistle dead by the referee, Tim Coleman. Couple of ancient moments there for Philadelphia fans as Michigan came close to getting this back to a 1-goal deficit. Let's look at that on replay. Confara trying to dig at that, but Anthony D'Amico in perfect position hugging that goal post and preventing that wraparound from happening. Scrum for the ball after the faceoff. Confara maintains possession, works his way to the point. Long shot. That'll bounce off the end wall where it's picked up by Anthony Thuer. Thuer throws it in front, loose in front. Who can dig for it? Confara has it under the chair of D'Amico and blown dead. D'Amico coming up with some big saves over the past minute or two.
Yeah, a couple of tough breaks. If you're Michigan.
A draw to the right of the power play goaltender, D'Amico. And we'll have another scrum right after this faceoff. Picked up by Confara. Takes another long shot. And I like this strategy. Michigan's going to have to find a way to block these shots because you figure if you let him keep shooting and shooting like this after faceoffs, he might eventually burn you.
Yep.
We'll see what they draw up on this faceoff. It's been kind of the same MO every time. Tied up, Confara comes away with it free and fires a shot from the point. See if that same thing happens again. This time they have Saxton go behind him, and I think this is the right diagnosis to try to prevent these plays. Now Philly will get possession. It's Alex Pitts. Anthony Thur trying to swat at it. Pitts able to get around. Still not in the zone, so they got to break through. Pitts is going to retreat. 5:11 to go, second period. Pitts stick handling on the right wing boards. Now works his way to center where he's met by a couple of Michigan players, taken away by Tristan Parent and pushed into the power play zone. This time it'll be Saxton carrying it for Philly. He's bothered by Anthony Thur. Jake Saxton now retreats behind his net under 5 minutes. Saxton stick handling. Good at the line. Get around Confara. Got Liam Miller wide open on the weak side. Got to watch out for that. No one picked him up. And now it's hit out of the zone by Anthony Thur. Dumped in, trying to find the ball. Comes away to Jake Saxton. Pushed into the zone. Now you see Michigan going back to having a defenseman. At times they've had 4 attackers go after it in the zone. And now it comes free to the right side for Michigan. Long shot from Thur goes wide. And off the carom, it'll be gathered up by Saxton. Saxton pressured by Kevin Confara. Able to get around him. Now he's also pressured by Parent. Parent and Saxton will follow the ball to the end wall. Parent lost it. Now he finds it in the corner. But unfortunately for him, Saxton gets there first. Now another tie up along the end wall. Confara trying to help dig it out. It's under Confara's chair. They'll flip it up outside the zone. And here's Anthony Thur. Thur able to create some space. Thur, centering attempt, goes behind the net. Didn't really have a very good angle on that one. Here's Tristan Parent centering it in front. And we're going to get a whistle as the ball was played with a high stick. Mike York doesn't have anything, just checking over there. He's watching by some of the Minnesota fans who are camped out behind the goal of Dean Olivas. Like one of the comments we have in the Facebook feed from Steve Onsom, a former great Minnesota player, saying, hey, tweet at the NHL. Maybe get them a retweet to say, hey, come watch this game. Seeing the best power hockey players in the world go at it tonight. Pitts comes away with it free. Pick set by Liam Miller, takes a long shot, and Cooter got a piece of it and deflects it into the corner. Here's Jake Saxton, and he'll flip it up and out of play. Just under 3 minutes to go in the second period. I'd like to remind you that tonight's game is brought to you by Quantum and their Edge line of products. Check them out online at quantumrehab.com and their Edge free chairs. They're one of the sponsors and make coverage of this game possible. Go to quantumrehab.com. Scrum for the ball after the faceoff. Saxton comes free with it. Saxton on his forehand. Stops. Now gets it back. Centers it to Liam Miller, who scores! Beautiful centering feed to Liam Miller. And Philadelphia has pulled ahead by a score of 5-2. Let's watch it on the replay. Saxton, a good goal scorer, but also just as good as a playmaker.
For us.
Here's the replay and the goal from Liam Miller. Let's send things down to Mike York.
Mike York here. I just found some interesting information here. They actually changed Alex Pitts to a 1. So he's no longer a 2. He's been changed to a 1 officially. So that's some interesting news that I have found out from a source. Back to you guys.
From sources. Does Mike work for ESPN? Who's the guy? Chris Broussard that always cites sources tell me. Sources tell me, and usually he ends up being wrong, but I'm pretty confident Mike is right on that one. So, yeah, Alex Pitts ruled as a level 1. Of course, right now that doesn't really impact Philadelphia since Saxton and Liam Miller are both 2s. We'll get to that in a moment. Here's Jake Saxton with a break into the zone. Saxton makes a move, takes a shot, blocked and turned away by Dean Olivas. Just to finish my thought, coming into the game, Saxton, Pitts, and Miller were all 2s. And if only one of them was upgraded to a level 1, doesn't quite impact them. But if a second player were upgraded to a level 1, then Philly would be in for some interesting strategic changes, since you were only allowed to have one level 1 player on the floor at one time.
Toronto was the only team at the tournament who had more than one, and kind of interesting. Generally, it was Ogo who got the bulk of the playing time, and they'd bring in Harris Farid when they needed to change of pace a little bit. But it was certainly not an equal arrangement.
Head up ahead. Thayer can't hit it out of the air, and we're going to get the ball played with another high stick. Yeah, I know where there's some, I'll also cite unnamed sources, but I know where there's some other people who are debating whether Saxton or Pitts should be ruled a level 1 player. And I think if you're wondering what constitutes a level 1, I have a general idea, but I think Steve Onsom, the rules expert, can probably provide you a better explanation as to what makes a level 1, level 2, or level 3 player. Level 3 is pretty cut and dry. If you have a stick taped to your wheelchair, you're a 3, but there is a little bit of a gray area between who's a level 1 and who's a level 2. I believe it's if you can reach all the way around your body, you're ruled a level 1. Another scrum right off the faceoff. This seems to happen every time we have a faceoff to the right of D'Amico. Big moment for Michigan if they can get another goal before the period to get back into it. Otherwise, Philly clearly going to be in the driver's seat with a 3-goal lead. They're looking for more, though, as the second period winds down, as we're down to the last minute. Here's Alex Pitts. Pitts stick handling for the power play, takes a shot, and a header saved by Dino Olivas. World Cup style air for Olivas as he's able to head that down. Here's Pitts for the power play, working his way into the zone. Pitts with a trailer, shoots and scores. Alex Pitts extends the lead to 4. And Philly's really got Michigan in a world of hurt now, trailing by 4 goals. Let's watch it on our replay. We talked about how Michigan's kind of made it too easy for Philadelphia to break into the zone. Pitts really didn't face a whole lot of resistance there, and if you give him room, he's going to beat you more times than not. (6-2) Philly on top of Michigan. Final 30 seconds of the second period. Jake Saxton on the left wing boards. He's pressured by Kevin Confara, helped out by Anthony Thuer. Hit out to safety, and Hoban will elect to let that trickle all the way down, where it'll be gathered up by Alex Pitts. Pitts, time for maybe one more rush with under 5 seconds to go. Here's Pitts taking that last long shot. It'll bounce wide, and that's going to do it for the end of the second period for the 2018 North American Power Hockey Cup Championship. Again, one reminder that the game is brought to you tonight by Quantum, providing power chairs. You can find more at quantumrehab.com and their line of Edge 3 wheelchairs. Check them out. More information at quantumrehab.com. We're going to take a timeout and have the third period on the way in just a little over 2 minutes. You're watching Power Hockey on Facebook.
Welcome back to Plymouth. Getting set to start the third period between Philadelphia and Michigan. Philadelphia 15 minutes away from the 2018 Power Hockey Championship. They lead at 6-2 as we get set to start the third period. Mike York once again joining us back up top here in the broadcast booth. Tonight's game again sponsored by Quantum. Check out their line of Edge 3 power chairs at quantumrehab.com. That's quantumrehab.com. Well, Michigan got within 3-2 on that second awesome goal by Confara, but Philadelphia took control of the game after that. They got the very quick power play goal. Here's Pitts in. Pitts with a shot saved by Olivas. Rebound loose out front. Confara trying to swat it out of there. Pitts backhand. It's Confara. Confara into the offense. When Confara shoots, save D'Amico. It's loose. Confara rebound, sends it wide. Wrap around Confara. He scores. We think so.
That's what they're signaling, and the fans certainly make it sound like it, and that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Michigan to get back into it. A quick goal, making it now 6-3.
I got totally fooled on that goal, even as a cameraman.
I thought Mike was down there live tweeting to ESPN. We had a great comment, I think, from Steve Hansen saying, hey, tweet at the NHL, tweet at ESPN, tweet at all those people saying, hey, come watch this game.
Though Confara has all three Michigan goals. Draws Michigan within 6-3. 14:30 to go in the final period. Pitts, or Saxton rather, shoots, and that's blocked. Dewar's got to be careful. He shifted those boards pretty generously, but they play on.
I thought I saw a little high sticking from Saxton on Theuer there.
Saxton, Confara trying to whack it away from him. They'll poke it down to the near side corner. Play continuing. Confara trying to whack it up. I think play is stopped. 13:56 remaining in regulation. 6-3, Philadelphia leading.
I was talking with Matt Wimmergren, and he was surprised that there's a shot.
Confara's long shot out of play.
He was talking about, he was surprised that Mustangs haven't been as physical against power play thus far. We'll see what happens in the third period here.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I thought they'd come out with a very physical game plan like Minnesota did in the first period of their game, where they had shut out the power play till about the final 10 seconds of that period.
Face off in the Philadelphia zone. Confara trying to dig it out. Still loose. I think it's under Confara's chair now as it pops free. Confara along the near side boards. Pitts, Miller down there, Saxton. The big three has not left the floor. Same lineup has been on the floor the entire game for Philadelphia. Now to get this one up toward Pitts. Ricochets around. Confara eventually gains control. Confara will bring it around the Michigan net. It's a little bit of trouble gaining control of it as he flips it down into the Philadelphia zone. With Saxton. Saxton in front of his own net as he gets a nice screen. That was Theuer trying to get to him, who couldn't do it. Then he gets another nice pick. That's Bryce Smith in the game now, so we do have a little bit of a lineup change. Saxton getting around the defense. Saxton loose out front and swept away by Michigan. Theuer, he shoots and sends it wide.
Theuer wanted that
Saxton into the offensive zone, one-on-one. He digs. What a play by Confara to catch up to it.
Yeah, that was great work by Kevin Confara. He's been a force defensively.
Along the far side boards, Miller battling with Cuter. Boards are shifting on that far side. Still no call. Play continuing. Confara comes out with it. He's got Perrin with him. Confara shoots. Save D'Amico. Rebound. Sent wide. 11:20 to go. Here's Saxton in. Saxton gets it to Pitts. He scores! Alex Pitts makes it 7-3.
Let's take a look at that again. Again, actually, that's the last one. Let's take a look at that Philly goal. I got the wrong one showing up there. Now let's take a look at that goal. I think there's a turnover, and again, it's just too easy for Philadelphia to enter the Michigan zone right now.
Michigan in a deep hole now, about to go under. 11 minutes to play. Smith with Pitts. Dewar down there for Michigan. This one flipped out towards Saxton. Saxton in. Saxton! He scores! Jake Saxton. It's 8-3 Philadelphia.
Every time Michigan gets some type of momentum, Philly shuts the door.
Yeah, Michigan's kind of let this game get away from them here. You don't want to get stuck playing an up and down game with the Philadelphia power play. They're going to beat you more times than not. Up and down is not the type of game you want to play with Philadelphia. What a shot by Jake Saxton. One more time, one-on-one, just about impossible to stop, burying it in that upper corner.
10:50 to go in regulation. Now a 5-goal lead for Philadelphia, who came so close in 2014 and 2016, only to be denied. Here's Confara. Smith looking to cut him off, flips it toward the net wide. Miller trying to get speed on Confara. Miller. Confara will chase him up into the corner. It comes loose. Comes out to Saxton. Saxton shoots. He scores! Jake Saxton again. It's 9-3 Philadelphia.
I don't know, Mike, the game's certainly gotten away from Michigan, but I think they might be good calling a timeout right here to regroup, because right now they're kind of letting Philadelphia run wild on them right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised they're not calling a timeout.
Yeah, if you see all 4 Michigan players bunched up on one side defensively, you do that, you're just asking for trouble against players as good as Saxton, Pitts, and Miller. Right there, you see all 4 players bunched up on one side.
It's unbelievable just how quickly the floodgates have opened. And Philadelphia has turned what was a pretty good lead coming into the period into a gigantic mountain to climb for the Michigan Mustangs. Long shot. They score again.
Wow.
It's just unreal how quickly they can score and score and score and score.
And Olivas can't believe it.
Wow.
And here comes Lee Donaghy for Philadelphia. I think we're going to start seeing some of the benches start to empty a little bit. Who would have even thought that? We're 5:15 into the third period. It was a 3-goal game when we started the third. And now Philadelphia starting to get some of those reserves in. 9.5 minutes to go. And it is very quiet in here now.
Almost hear a pin drop.
Yeah,
now.
it's Philadelphia. They're like a football team with an offense that just keeps throwing bombs and bombs and bombs and connecting every time. If you want a football analogy, if you're more of a basketball person, it's kind of like the Golden State Warriors, where they can just explode out of nowhere, where all of a sudden a close game is broken out wide open in a heartbeat.
It's underneath Miller. Still play live. Parent comes out with it for Michigan. As he flips it, it's inadvertently blocked by his own teammate Dewar. Now Donahue comes away with it. Leaves it for Saxton. Also have Michelle Boardman in there now for Philadelphia. It's loose next to the post. And play ruled dead. That may have been a little bit quick on that call as well. 8:20 to go, final period. 10-3 Philadelphia.
I think you're right, Patrick. We're going to see the floodgates of substitutions start to work their way in the game. We see Velko Zerkovic in from Michigan. I know you've named a couple new Philly players who have entered the game. And how about this? The Mustangs going back to the old empty net strategy they've had some success with in past games.
Aaron Gordon now in net for Philadelphia. Smith battling Confara. Miller, Confara long shot. He scores! Well, Kevin Confara, who has accounted for all 4 of the Mustangs' goals, makes it 10-4. Still 8:09 to play.
I will say he has showed up, and he has played great today.
Offensively, yeah, and defensively. Take a look at the spin. Look at him. Look at this move here to barely keep it in the zone. He came very close to going off sides, but was able to hold it in. Right there, you'll see it how close it was. He was able to hold it in, lift it in, and score.
Confara long shot. Gordon with the save. Boy, that was pretty dangerous. He hit one of those earlier, but that time Gordon able to swallow it up.
You got to keep playing if you're Philly. I mean, Michigan has the open net, and we've seen them make lopsided games all of a sudden get too close for comfort. So you're playing defense if you're the power play.
Big 3 is still in. The defense, though, has changed with Boardman and Gordon on the backside.
Yeah, smart play by Parent. I mean, with an empty net, you pretty much have to dump it in if you get possession in your own zone.
Empty net again for the Mustangs.
Halfway through the third period, 10-4 Philadelphia. Pitts, rather that's, yeah, that is Pitts, but second guessed myself and I was right. Pokes it back behind the net. Confara, Saxton up there, Parent getting in the fray. Seven minutes to go. This play continuing. Wraparound attempt. Confara, what a save by Gordon. Feed out front, deflected wide. Dewar had a shot at the net, but somebody got a stick in there at the last moment and sent it wide.
Give credit to the Mustangs. They're still fighting.
Kind of have to ask that question before, where I said it almost half jokingly. I think in their Toronto game, almost tempted to play with an empty net the entire game because they're ramping up the pressure right now. And for the most part, Philly's got their starters in outside of Anthony D'Amico.
Parent with a long shot. That'll go out of play.
Yeah, I mean, you have Miller, Pitts, and Saxton still in the game, so it's not like Michigan's just been putting on pressure because the Philly backups are in. Michigan's still been ramping up the pressure even with the starters.
6:07 to go. We announce the probably final raffle winners. I don't think any of us bought a ticket. We probably wouldn't be eligible anyway if we did.
Mike would find a way to
Be eligible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'd use his pseudonym or something. I think Miguel Yonkers, maybe.
Miguel Donaldson.
Yike
Donaldson.
Mork, perhaps?
Yeah, Yike. I like Yike Mork, yes.
Yike Mork. I'm from Yugoslavia.
The battle continuing deep in the Philadelphia zone. Pitts comes out with it. Look out, but it's taken away. Shot over the top of the net. About to say he had Saxton open and a wide open net at the other end. But
There, we finally broke 100, by the way. We were sitting at 99 for a while. Now we've broken over to 101.
5 minutes to
102
play.
here. Yep, there we go. Good job, people.
Philadelphia, I think they're contention. Let's let this clock run. Pitts. Open net in front of him. Toward the open net. He scores. Alex Pitts makes it 11-4 with 4:42 remaining.
That's, of course, the drawback of having an empty net. You can ramp up pressure and pressure for 5 or 6 minutes and not score, and then all it takes is one break the other way to lead you to giving up an empty net goal.
Drew Canada in on defense. I'm not sure that's a name we've called at all in this tournament, as Oliva's back in the goal crease.
Chris Cram said he's watching on 2 screens. So, hey, anything works.
I kind of ask why 2 screens, though. Hey, whatever works, though, as Mike said.
Well, we're still over 100, aren't we? Because we were at, even if you
103.
have 2, well, is it devices? Here's Miller as he charges in. Canada cuts them off.
It's tough to say how Facebook actually measures their stats. I'll get to that in a second. I'll get you some inside broadcaster information. I was going to say, one of the service I used to use for the longest time had really accurate ways to measure stats and unique viewers. Facebook, I don't know if I necessarily trust their numbers yet in terms of at least total views. I know concurrent viewers is pretty accurate. I think that's devices, but we'll leave it at that.
Saxton into the offensive zone. Perrin with him. Here's a shot that'll go wide. At this point, Philadelphia might be okay with that because it'll just run some clock. We'll have to go under 3.5 minutes to go.
Big screen to view and phone to comment.
Ah, that answers that question. See, I was thinking he had like 2 TVs set up next to each other. I'm saying, what's the point of that?
Chris Cram must love the game if he wanted to do that.
Yeah.
Like, really, a lot.
That makes sense, though. Yeah, you can't really comment on a TV.
Unless it's a smart TV.
This one back down into the Philadelphia zone. Just along the near side in the corner.
Well, it's dug up in the corner. Just want to remind everyone we will have kind of an extended post-game show where Mike's going to be interviewing more than just the player of the game. We're going to try to talk to several players, not only from Philadelphia, since it's looking very much like they're going to win, but we'll also talk to a few Michigan players as well. And just want to remind everyone this is an emotional game for Philly. They're playing for Pat and Pete. No, that's the hashtag, and getting this championship, I think, is going to be felt very hard for these Philly players.
Loose out front, swept into the corner. 2.5 minutes to play.
You know, as a player, you may know that you're winning, but you don't really know how much until that final thing rings and you know you have it.
Confara working his way in. He'll shoot. That'll go over the net. D'Amico back in. Well, Gordon just gave him a little bit of a breather. He's going to be out there to finish it out. Perrin able to hold the zone.
I'm trying to think of how many goals D'Amico's given up, and that's not garbage time. He's, I know, 4 is probably the most he's given up this tournament.
Oh, he's just been one of the reasons why Philadelphia has been a championship team.
Saxton into the offensive zone with Parent behind him. Saxton go for the wraparound and denied. 1:30 to play.
I like Dino Levis there showing some pride, not giving Jake Saxton an easy one at the end. Let's watch it on the replay. Well, Levis, one of the best as well.
Getting a question from Frankie McNamara, will I stream the Minnesota Championship Day? Well, if I can get these guys with me, I probably could do that.
Ouch, and you see Saxton break a pretty good hit there as well for his efforts on that wraparound. And yeah, now we're going to get Philly coaching staff calling their big 3 guys off the floor, or actually I think we might be getting a timeout. So again, coming up post-game, got a lot of people to talk to, don't we, Mike, down there?
Got a lot of people to talk to, and we'll figure out what we can do. But why not we throw that sponsor out one more time?
Tonight's game sponsored by Quantum. Check out their new line of Edge 3 power chairs at quantumrehab.com. And Quantum, a proud sponsor of tonight's championship game. You can check out those Edge 3 power chairs at quantumrehab.com. So this tournament ending the way that it started, with Philadelphia just blowing everybody out of the water. They have a 7-goal lead here late. I mean, it was just total domination. Toronto hung with them for a little while, but eventually just too much.
Yeah, it's tough to stay with these guys, and with how young these Philadelphia players are, this is probably their first of possibly many championships that they're going to win.
We'll see where everything stands in a couple of years. No, Michigan, they'll be back. Minnesota is going to have 2 years to stew about their poor performance at this year's Cup. And who knows, we've talked about some other candidates who might be rejoining the fray. Calgary, St. Louis, perhaps another Toronto team. So hopefully by 2020, we'll have a much bigger fracas. 1:27 remaining now.
Confara is out, I believe. He had a heck of a game, you know, scoring 4 times, playing excellent defense. Unfortunately, just not enough against this high-powered Philadelphia team.
This Pitts into the Philadelphia zone. Sean Hesser in on defense. Rather, that's Mohammed, my apologies. Under a minute to play. So certainly so much to be proud of if you're Philadelphia. You know, a lot of people to think about who unfortunately aren't going to be here to celebrate with them. But they had those people in mind. They did it for Pat and Pete as we're under 30 seconds to play. They lead by 7.
Thanks for watching, Jackie Penaz, even though it's 17 seconds left of the game.
Approaching her bedtime as well, I think.
Yeah, probably.
Poked away out front. Philadelphia got to the top of the mountain twice, but were sent back. Not this time. Philadelphia has won the 2018 Power Hockey Cup North American Championship. And for Pat and Pete, they've done it. And there was no doubt about it. They scored in the first minute. Michigan made things a little interesting, but Philadelphia displayed why they were far and away the best team at this tournament, and there was no doubt about it at the end.
Lots of excited players down there for Philadelphia. It means a lot for them. Finally winning that elusive championship, and of course also winning it for Pat and Pete as well.
And certainly, it's a lot to think about. And certainly Michigan put on such a great performance this evening as well. Confara named the player of the game. No surprise, he was certainly the one who deserved it the most.
Absolutely.
And D'Amico getting the honor for Philadelphia. You know, Michigan gonna have perhaps a bad taste in their mouths losing the title on their home floor, something they'll be stewing about for a couple years before not quite sure where we're going for 2020. I think Toronto was the front-running rumor there. We don't want to speculate too much on that. Wherever it is, hopefully, we'll get to be there as well.
Yep, for especially Michigan, you know, not the outcome they wanted, but if all the players kind of just look in the stands, look how much support they have here.
I know Dean also very happy about being able to play in his hometown in front of his family and friends, even though you didn't come out on top. I think it's the experience more of playing in this atmosphere that he's probably going to remember, as are all of these Michigan players.
Definitely, and Michigan has been great hosts and have been great to us commentators as well, and we'd like to thank them.
Absolutely. I think we should head on down and talk to some people. A
Yeah.
lot of people to talk to.
Let's go do it.
So Mike and Brett are going to head downstairs as the teams gathering. Philadelphia out on the floor with their coaches in the circle. Michigan is gathered a little off behind their bench area.
Yeah, and I think I might ask you too, Patrick, if you can double duty and video the trophy presentation as well.
Can certainly take care of that.
All right, I think we're going to leave you though.
All right, so Mike and Brett are going to get downstairs, and we'll pick up those interviews when everybody's ready to talk about just a fantastic night for Philadelphia. Disappointment for Michigan, but definitely a lot of pride to be taken.
Let's first off talk about Pat and Pete. What does this mean for you and the team?
This means everything. I mean, this was the goal. We wanted to do it for them. We wanted to make them proud, and I think we did.
Thank you, thank you. What contributed to this win? How did you guys come out with your game plan to stop a very tough Michigan team again?
Look, I think we just came out as a team. You know, we practiced a lot. We really got close this year for good reasons and for bad. But nonetheless, we were close, and I think we got it done as a team, and that's why.
All right, Liam Miller, thank you. Go celebrate again with your team. I'm with D'Amico here. Tell me, what does this mean for you and the team, and specifically for Pat and Pete?
This means absolutely everything to us. We've been training all year in hopes to bring the cup home for Pat and Pete, and we finally did it. So it means everything in the world.
Thank you, thank you. No, go ahead. How about for you, actually? What does this mean for you and the team and Pat and Pete?
It means the world to us. I mean, Pat's not here, neither is Pete, but every game, that's all we thought about is them and bringing this cup home and sharing it with the rest of our Philly family. We just want to bring it home to them. That's all we want to do.
Anybody at home that you want to say hi to?
Everybody. Philly family. We always call ourselves the Philly family. We're really the Philly family.
Thank you, sir. All right, thank you. Michelle, what does this mean to for you, your team, and Pat and Pete, and yourself?
Oh my God, we worked so hard at this. We put in so much effort, and honestly, it's about our team. Our team played their hardest, and I'm so proud of everybody.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the cup with your team. Aaron, same basic question I'm going to ask everybody. What does this mean for you and Pat and Pete?
I've been thinking of this since '04, since I went to my first cup with the Hodgepodge team. This is awesome. I can't even describe it. Third time's a charm, and oh my gosh.
Thank you, thank you. Can I get you? What does this mean for you, yourself, your team, Pat and Pete?
This means so much. Pat and Pete they're so happy right now. They know about this. They're looking down on us from heaven, we believe, and they've been waiting for this moment for a long time. So this means so much, and we're so happy. This is just amazing. Amazing. Absolutely.
Thank you. Go and celebrate with your team. Jake, real quick, what does this mean for you, Pat, and the team?
It means everything. Without them, Pat, Pete, I mean, it was just awesome. We just won it for them. They're in our hearts the whole time, and every game we played for them. Before the game, we said play for Pat and Pete, PFPP, play for Pat and Pete. So this is for them. I know they're watching us right now.
All right, thank you. Go celebrate your team. What does this victory mean for yourself, your team, Pat and Pete?
It's what I've been playing for 13 years. Patrick joined the team. Without him, none of this would be possible. This is for Patrick and Pete. And we are just so excited right now. And it's an unbelievable feeling right now. I'm numb right now. I don't know if it's not in yet, but it's an unbelievable moment. We're just happy to do it for Pat. Happy. And let's go Philadelphia Flyers, PowerPlay.
All right, thank you. Coach, what does this mean for your team, yourself, Pat, and Pete?
For Pat and Pete, this is unbelievable. This is something that we've been shooting for all year. I'll tell you, this organization's been up and down, as you know. This is just something that we've been shooting for years, and it's unfortunate that Pat and Peter are not here physically, but I know they're looking down on us. I know it for a fact, and they've given us the spirit to carry this forward. This is awesome. For me personally, it's icing on the cake, right? This is something we've all achieved. We do it for the players, we do it for the organization. A lot of time and effort and hard work has gone into this thing, and this is the result of it.
All right, thank you so much. Go celebrate with your team. I think that'll do it from the Flyers here. I'm going to try to grab a Michigan player here, and I'll talk about what it means to them and how we can get and how their tournament went thus far for them. I know it was a bad outcome for them, but we'll talk to them in a minute here.
You can see they're not wasting any time in getting that floor torn apart and removed upon the conclusion of the tournament. So we'll take a quick timeout while we wait for Mike to try to track down somebody else. This is Patrick still upstairs. Again, Philadelphia winning 11-4. Another lopsided victory for Philadelphia in this tournament. Another 10-goal plus outing. They only had one game where they scored fewer than 10 goals in the tournament. Still watching live on Facebook. It's going to take a quick break while Mike tries to find somebody from the Michigan Mustangs. We're watching Power Hockey Cup 2018 live on Facebook.
Didn't come out the way you wanted, but please tell me how this tournament meant to you and what you're going to remember out of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the tournament ran really well. I'm really happy. I think the arena helped facilitate everybody, and I think everybody had fun, and ultimately we all want to win, but, you know, having fun's important too, I guess. So I think it was a good time, and it means a lot to be able to have hosted this finally and got that under our belt kind of thing.
For all the Michigan fans, we only have one thing to say is, I know it's rough, but let's go have a beer.
Sure. I don't drink, but sure.
Thank you.
All right, I think that might do it for downstairs. See if Mike wants to find anybody else, but certainly want to thank everybody who tuned in this week on Facebook, all the fans who tuned in, parents, players who watched us stream these games. Certainly for Brett and Mike as well, who have done so much to get us on the air this week. In addition to the arena staff, only those who accommodated us, helped us along the way with these broadcasts. I certainly want to say one more time, thank you so much for joining us this week on Facebook. Philadelphia, the 2018 Power Hockey Cup champions. They defeat Michigan 11-4 in the final. So for Brett and Mike and everybody else, for all of you who tuned in this week, for Dean, who helped supervise everything this week. We got into town on Monday, and he was down here supervising the installation of the floor. You can see they're already getting everything torn up so quickly. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and watching us on Facebook this week, and if all goes well, we will talk to you in 2020. So for Brett and Mike, this has been Patrick Lilia. Thank you so much for watching us on Facebook this week. All the teams have a safe trip back home. To all the fans, we hope to see you in 2020. Good night, everybody.